Hi everyone, welcome back to the Southville course on Arduino. So I'm Wallen, and in lesson 4 today, we're going to be going over not just writing information, but starting to use sensors, and we're going to start reading information using AnalogRead, and we're just going to go through a quick C++ review as well. And we're going to be using a light sensor to kind of practice that out. Okay, so here we go. Same, just as before, you have your Arduino diagram. Next, you have your breadboard and how it's wired, just so you don't forget. This is how your breadboard is wired. And your Arduino code parts, it always starts with a setup and the loop on start, which corresponds to setup, and then loop, which is the forever block. So on Blockly, it'll be on the left, C++ on the right. And then your basic C++ review. What does the command look like? Variable type, C++ types. So in this setup, we're going to be using an integer, which is a whole number, and that's going to be int. And an int is a whole number from -2 million to +2 million. But you cannot use decimals with an int. So that's what an int is. Function syntax, kind of what every C++ function looks like. And here, this is our Arduino code part. So this is what every piece of Arduino code looks like in real life, not in Tinkercad. You'll have a void, 2 parts, void setup. So there's no return function. You don't have to return anything because it's void. The function name is setup with no arguments. Same void. The function name is loop and there are no arguments. And then you put your code in the middle of these curly brackets. So these are open close parentheses. These are curly brackets here. So that's what the basic C++ Arduino program structure looks like. So we're going to jump into it. We're going to be creating a circuit that will allow you to do a read. So we're going to be going over a light sensor, using a light sensor, and the tutorial will be from here, buildelectroniccircuits.com/Arduino light sensor. So a light sensor returns a value from 0 to 1023. Okay, and so this is what we're going to build looks like. So the voltage comes from the 5 volt. So here is your positive 5 volt. The voltage travels through here, enters here, it exits here, and it goes to ground. So that's how your current is flowing. And then on the same bar, the same line as the resistor, we take a read of kind of the, we do an analog read here. We're measuring the voltage or the current, and that will kind of allow us to figure out how much light is in this photoresistor. So this is a basic photoresistor program design. So let's get to it and actually build the circuit. Okay, so here we go. This is what the tutorial looks like on buildelectronics.com. We will need a 10K resistor, a photoresistor, a breadboard, and some wires. All right, let's go on and create that. So we'll go to our Tinkercad. We will click, I can put this on standby in case you need to refer to it. But we'll click Create, Circuits, and we will create our little photoresistor circuit. So we'll start with an Arduino board here. You go to Arduino and click. And then we'll go to breadboard here. So that's most of our program done. We're going to take a scroll down in components basic. We're going to take a photoresistor. Okay. Next, we're going to take a resistor here. I'm going to flip it a bit. And it says in our tutorial use 10 kilo ohms. So I'm going to use 10 kilo ohms. Okay, and now we're gonna wire things up. So we're gonna use a green wire for the power. I'm gonna click 5. We'll go over here. We'll click all the way there. So the power goes on this rail. The power enters from the 5 rail, 5 volts all the way here. And then I'm gonna put a black wire. The power exits here. Okay. Click, click, G and D. Okay, and then we're gonna need one more wire. I'm gonna use yellow here. We're gonna put it on the same rail, and we're gonna go to A0. So this is pretty much our circuit. Now let's go write the code. Very simple code. So we're gonna actually have to create a variable this time. So I'm gonna go blocks plus text. So variables. Create a variable. Let's call it light val. So we'll click variables, create variable, and we'll call light val. Okay. So now we're going to do at the start of the program. So it says int light val equals 0. It's basically creating a variable as an int. We're going to drag drop this to set light val to 0. And then we're going to click input. Read analog pin A0. So now when I type this, it sets pin mode A0 to input. And instead of light val equals 0, it says light val equals analog read A0. Next, we are going to use our serial monitor. So we're going to go here and click print the serial monitor with new line. So when you use this block, it creates these two pieces, serial.begin 9600. That's basically the transmission rate, speed rate. You need that when you use the serial port. So you have to use this piece, serial.begin. This is when you're connecting your Arduino via USB. And then instead of print line hello world, we're going to be putting here, clicking variables, and putting light val. So now our code will be able to read the light, how much light is in, and then we're just going to put a delay of, say, 3 seconds. So now when I click start, let's go back to blocks, and we'll click start simulation. We can now click start, so it's starting, and we can see here every 3 seconds it's showing 54, because right now we have it set to really dark. But when we set it to light by doing this, let's move this here. So we have it to set to light. The value changes, right? So now you can see whatever this is reading, it's going to be a higher number. So when there's light, the analog read is able to read a higher value, nearer 1023. And then when it's dark, it's gonna read a low value. So using this piece of code, we are able to actually now see kind of when is it dark and when is it light. So if I set it all the way dark, it shows 54. And then when there's a bit of light, it shows 890. Then when it shows all the way there, 974. So what can we do with this? Now that we're able to read values, you could create a LED light that only turns on when it's light or dark. So now you're able to use analog read and to have a sensor. And then now we're going to be wiring this in Arduino.